In a heart-wrenching tragedy that shakes the very foundations of law enforcement, a seemingly routine eviction in northern Italy has claimed the lives of 3 dedicated police officers in a catastrophic gas explosion. But here's where it gets downright controversial. Was this an act of desperate resistance or something far more calculated? Stick around as we unpack the details of this shocking event, revealing layers that most news reports skip over, and inviting you to ponder the broader implications for society. The incident unfolded at a rundown farmhouse near Verona, where authorities were attempting to enforce an eviction order against 3 siblings, a brother and 2 sisters in their late 50s and mid-60s. These individuals, burdened by accumulated debts, had reportedly barricaded themselves inside, turning what should have been a standard procedure into a standoff fraught with tension. For beginners diving into stories like this, it's worth noting that an eviction order is a legal directive from a court compelling property owners to vacate their home, often due to financial issues like unpaid bills or mortgages. In this case, the siblings' refusal to leave highlighted a deeper conflict, one that had simmered for months with past failed attempts at removal. At around 3 a.m. local time, 1 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, Carabinieri officers, Italy's specialized military police force, often likened to a national gendarmerie, responsible for both law enforcement and military duties, arrived on the scene alongside firefighters. What they encountered was nothing short of madness, as Provincial Police Commander Claudio Papagno described to the ANSA news agency. Upon entering the house, we were confronted with an act of absolute madness, he recounted, explaining that a gas cylinder had been deliberately ignited, unleashing a blast so powerful it could be heard up to 5 kilometers, about 3 miles away. The farmhouse, already in a dilapidated state with no electricity, was reduced to a mere pile of rubble, as haunting images from the site attest. Tragically, 3 members of the Carabinieri perished in the explosion, while at least 15 others sustained injuries, including 11 more Carabinieri officers, 3 state police personnel, and a firefighter. Authorities arrested a man and a woman at the scene, and soon apprehended another man who had fled immediately after the blast. All 3 suspects, now in hospital, are believed to be the siblings involved. Prosecutors, led by Verona's Raffaele Tito, have labeled the incident a premeditated and voluntary homicide, pointing to telltale signs like the sound of gas cylinders being opened just before the explosion, a whistle that eerily foreshadowed the devastation. Adding to the grim picture, petrol bombs were discovered on the property, suggesting the siblings had prepared for more than just verbal resistance. Neighbors, interviewed by Italian media, painted a picture of long-standing unease, recalling how the trio had threatened to blow themselves up rather than surrender their home. "We all knew the situation was dire," they shared, underscoring the mounting desperation. And this is the part most people miss. How does a debt-ridden eviction spiral into such violence? It's a stark reminder of how financial struggles can push individuals to extreme measures, blurring the lines between self-defense and outright aggression. Political leaders wasted no time in mourning the loss. Veneto region head Luca Zaia emphasized that the eviction stemmed from the owner's debts, while Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi, who noted that mediators had been dispatched earlier to negotiate, declared, "This is a time for grieving." He admitted that the authorities had anticipated some form of resistance, given the siblings' history of defiance. Defense Minister Guido Corsetto joined the chorus of tributes, honoring the officers who died in the line of duty. The minister further described the toll as terrible, very painful, and dramatic, a sentiment that echoes the widespread shock rippling through Italy. But let's not shy away from the tough questions this story raises. Is there a controversy here about how evictions are handled, especially when they pit vulnerable families against armed authorities? Some might argue that more compassionate approaches, like debt relief programs or extended negotiation periods, could prevent such tragedies. Others see it as a clear-cut case of criminal intent, where resistance crosses into terrorism-like tactics? And what about the role of mental health or societal pressures? Could better support for those facing financial ruin have averted this? For instance, consider similar cases in other countries, like the standoffs during foreclosures in the US, where emotions run high and outcomes can vary wildly. It's a debate worth having. Does the system fail those in crisis, or do individuals bear full responsibility for their actions? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you side with stricter law enforcement, or do you advocate for more empathy in these situations? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss.